All right, well, we had some technical difficulties there. So I'm just going to do the video over again. How's that? Good evening, everyone. This is Al Mack from SparkSports.ca. We're doing a main event betting preview for UFC Fight Island 3 Whittaker versus Till. Like I said, we had some technical difficulties, so I'm just going to go over the whole video again. So do us a favor, like the video, subscribe to the Spark Sports YouTube channel. This is a video and podcast that is powered by StreamYard. Sign up with them using the promo code link in the description. You can get money off your membership. As well, be sure to follow on Twitter, Spark Sports Bets, for all of our betting action, and visit SparkSports.ca for in-depth betting analysis. Sports are coming back, so we're going to have a lot of good stuff. We're going to be pumping out a lot of content. So, yeah, if you don't know me, my name is Al Mack. I'm a sports writer, bettor, market researcher, data analyst. You can follow all my stuff on Twitter, SparkAlMac. I'm currently a contributor at Fansided MMA, as well as MMAsucka.com and Last Word on Sports. And like I said, as well, you can always find the bulk of my work at SparkSports.ca. So we're going to try this out for the next few weeks. If we can, we're going to do a main event betting guide early in the week, followed by a video giving a full rundown of the division trends, and then we'll wrap up the week with a best bets video, and then maybe possibly a recap video on fight night after the card is over. But for now, we're going to do a full betting breakdown for the main event for UFC Fight Island 3, Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till. We're currently sitting at the record is, I can see it at the bottom, I can't see it in front of me, 237, 175 for plus 9.91 units in 2020. That is our MMA record, verified at OddsPortal.com. The link for that is also in the description. You know, it's pretty disappointing, to be honest. I was up about 25 units early in March, and things just kind of went south. You know, probably a lack of preparation. Had a lot of personal stuff going on, but we're going to look forward to improving that record for second half of 2020. So let's get right to it. The UFC Fight Island series from Abu Dhabi will conclude with a very intriguing card on Saturday on ESPN. This card is headlined by the former UFC interim middleweight champion Robert the Reaper Whittaker taking on the Englishman Darren Till, who is looking for his second win at 185 pounds. So let's take a look at the tail of the tape. The Reaper, Robert Whittaker, is fighting out in New South Wales, Australia, at 29 years old. He's 6 feet tall, 73 and a half inches. While Darren Till is fighting out of Liverpool, England, 27 years old, 6 feet tall as well, with a 75-inch reach. So a small advantage as far as wingspan for Till. Whittaker is 20-5 as a pro, 11-3 since his UFC debut back in 2012. And meanwhile, Darren Till 18-1 as a pro and 6-1 since making his UFC debut back in 2015. Overall, these two fighters are quite evenly matched. Whittaker is a little bit more battle tested, which we may end up being a disadvantage at the end of the day, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Darren Till is a former UFC welterweight #1 contender. He dropped his first loss as a pro to Tyron Woodley when he fought for the UFC welterweight gold at UFC 228 after a disappointing knockout loss to Jorge Masvidal in March of 2019. Till moved up to middleweight. For health purposes, he found his weight cut was just his weight cut to 170 was just really taxing on the body. So he moved up to 185, and he put on a great performance at middleweight against Calvin Gastelum. I think that was at UFC. I can't remember what UFC that was at. That was in last November. He picked up that decision victory as plus 175 underdog. So this fight against Whittaker, this will be the second bout for him at middleweight, and it would be a huge victory to add a former interim middleweight champion to his resume of wins. Whittaker comes into this. He's coming off that middleweight title fight loss to Israel Adesanya. He was knocked out in the second round. But prior to that loss, Whittaker was on a 9-fight winning streak that dated back to June of 2014. And he was the interim middleweight champion, but he had to vacate the belt due to injury. Now, when a healthy Whittaker, if he comes into this bout, he's ranked number 1 in the division, and he hopes that he's going to bounce back and put himself right back into the title picture with a win over Till, who's ranked number 5 right now. And Till's a rising contender at 185. A win over Till would surely put Whittaker in the driver's seat for another shot at the title, either against Adesanya or Paulo Costa, depending on who comes out on top at that UFC 253. So either way, if Jared Cannonier is not ready in time, I think Whittaker, if he gets the W here over Till, that he's going to put himself right back in line for another shot at that middleweight gold, either against Adesanya or Paulo Costa. So let's look at Whittaker's measure of expectation. So Robert Whittaker, he's reached far beyond his expectations in his 14 career UFC fights since 2012. Whittaker, 11-3 record in the UFC. He's won 5 by stoppage and 6 by decision. Bettors who have backed Whittaker to win have profited 9.16 units, but the real money has come from backing him by decision. Whittaker backers who have bet $100 on him to win by decision in all 14 of his fights. You went 6-8, but you've profited $82 per fight, win or lose, for a total of $1,147. So he's gone 6-8 to the decision, plus 11.47 units. So he's picked up back-to-back decision victories over Yoel Romero, cashed those at plus 550 and plus 250 respectively in those series of bouts at UFC 213 and UFC 225. Meanwhile, bettors backing him inside the distance have also enjoyed success, going 5-9 for plus 6.93 units profit. His most recent inside the distance victory came in 2017 against Ronaldo Sosa, which is extremely impressive. And he cashed there at plus 350 inside the distance. So needless to say, Robert Whittaker has measured up very well against the expectations in his UFC career. And he has awarded his backers with immense profits. Let's look at Darren Till as far as his measure of expectation. Till has picked up a decision win in four of his 9 career UFC bouts. He's cashed most recently. That was against Calvin Gastelum to win. That was a plus 460 to win by decision. So bettors who have backed Till by decision since the start of his UFC career have gone 4-9 plus 7.95 units profit, while Till has delivered on the win prop, on the money line prop as well, going 6-2-1 for 4.69 units. With all of his last 3 victories coming on as underdogs, the victory over Gastelum was a pretty big underdog. So let's look at Whittaker, his overall fight trends, his tendencies. Till, so half of his 14 career UFC fights, 7 have gone the distance. That's Robert Whittaker. 7 of 14 fights have gone the distance, and 8 have gone over the betting total. Bettors who have backed fight goes the distance in Whittaker's bouts have enjoyed a 7-7 record for 3.7 units profit, while the over prop is cashed at a 57% rate, going 8-6 for plus 1.67 units profit in his UFC career. Let's look at Till. Till in his 9 UFC fights, he has had 5 go the distance as well as the over betting total has also 5. So bettors backing the fight goes the distance, and 9 of Darren Till's UFC bouts have gone 5 and 4 for plus 0.77 units profit. Let's look at the division betting trends, because I always like to look at the division trends. There's tendencies in these divisions, and I've gone back to 2019 in some of these. And in the middleweight division, the over prop has been profitable and probable for the last year and a half. 40 and 22 for plus 3.31 units profit, which, it's not that much, but 64% win rate. Implied probability has that buy price based on that trend at about minus 180, and the over in this fight, 4.5 rounds, albeit it's listed at plus 110 right now. So, I think there's some value there. And another trend, the favorite in this division has been probable, going 38 and 24 for a 61% win rate. Not exactly profitable, but it has been probable. Okay, so let's break down the nuts and bolts of this fight. I'm really interested in to see how how these two match up stylistically. I think the make or break point in this matchup is going to be Robert Whittaker's overall health, and more specifically his ability to take shots and be durable in a 5-round fight. We've seen what he's endured over the years. He's gone the distance with Yoel Romero twice. He took a big knockout shot in his last fight to Israel Adesanya. I think if Darren Till is able to build off his past performance, he may not actually he may not exactly be a sure thing to get the job done as far as getting a stoppage. But this is a guy. He's had some good victories in his career. Before the Woodley loss, he was on a roll. He was a rising contender. For Till, I think the big question for him is going to be his overall ability to take the fight into the deep waters. We've seen Whittaker in these 5-round fights multiple times. This is a guy who went he went the distance with Romero twice. He got finishes over Jacare. He got a finish over Brunson. Albeit those finishes were in the early rounds, but there's still a bit of a margin, I think, between what Whittaker has been able to do in the octagon as far as Till has, as far as like style wins and stuff like that. As far as overall pedigree, I would say Whittaker, has a little bit better of a strength of schedule. The big interesting thing between these two guys, and the matchmakers were just licking their lips between these two guys, is Whittaker and Till. They're both predominantly strikers, but they have significantly different styles. Where Till is a pressure fighter, very much of a Thai boxer. He uses his reach. He's got a lot of movements. He takes up a lot of large space. He uses feints. He's always measuring with hand movements. He's very rhythmical. He's a very rhythmical fighter. And because of his size, and because of his well-rounded footwork, boxing and Thai style, he has the ability to step in quickly for strikes, and that's due to his length, and also, like I said, due to his Thai style fighting. For Whittaker, much different fighter, much more boxing style, much more kickboxing, striker, as opposed to Till's my Thai style. Whittaker, he's also more of a counter puncher, as he's much more willing to let the fight come to him. He's much more calculated. I wouldn't say he's much more calculated, but he's predominantly the more calculated fighter between these two guys. He would rather the fight come to him when he's at his best. He would rather the fight come to him rather than chasing or forcing his way onto the inside like he did against Adesanya. And then, we saw how that ended up. He can't do that. And, that he's mentioned it. He knows that that's, a mistake that he made. That happens all the time in big fights like this. As for Till, Till is going to be looking for that very strong, sweeping Muay Thai style body kick. That's the thing, is that this is an orthodox style fighter fighting a southpaw, and Whittaker will leave his body wide open, standing orthodox. And Till is going to be threatening with that rear leg, and he's going to be measuring for an entry, either with that body kick or with the lead elbow or some type of aggressive attack, which he can retreat quickly from. He's not going to stand and bang with Whittaker. He's going to be stick and moving. As for Whittaker, what he utilizes as far as his setups, one of his biggest setups is he's got this big rear snap leg kick, and this is one of those things where it can easily be set up if he can catch his opponent bending forward, to avoid a punch or to slip a punch, or get out of the way of a body strike when his opponent moves forward. This was the kick that he used to set up the knockout of Jacare Souza, and it has so much more to do with timing than it does with power. He's using his hands, his striking ability to threaten, and he's trying to set up the opponent to come forward, to slip out of a punch forward, to get out of the way, to go sideways, to get out of the way. And that's when he has this high snapping leg kick, which is really almost like a knee or like a really high shin to the head type thing. So if Till finds himself facing pressure from Whittaker against the fence, and he tries to slip one of those strikes through the inside, or coming forward, ducking down, slipping through, that snapping high kick could be there waiting for him, and that will cause some serious problems for Till. And the thing is that he's sneaky with it. He's predominantly, he's not he doesn't have a huge kicking game, but he's sneaky with it. And when he does throw that kick has hurt people. He beat Jacare Souza with it, who is a zombie, and he finished him with it. So the big thing is that Till has to be very much more precise with his strikes, as Whittaker is not one to leave himself open when attacking. Whittaker is a far less mobile fighter. He incorporates far less feints and movements into his stance and fighting style. With this in mind, Till isn't going to be able to catch Whittaker, swinging to the fences like Adesanya did. He's going to be much more calculated than that. He's not going to get the moment is he's going to be cool. He's going to be calculated. We know that's where his mind's going to be. So unless Whittaker gets into this aggressive do or die type situation that he found himself against Adesanya, he's not going to be chasing the fight. He's not going to get himself into those dangerous positions. He could find himself, maybe chasing rounds, or if he's taking on a lot of damage. But, otherwise, Whittaker is very calculated, and a very conservative fighter. If he commits to an attack, he tends to be accurate. He's not the type of guy, he's not a typical middleweight that's, swinging for the fences, swinging for those big knockout shots. When he swings, he hits usually. So that's a big thing that Till is going to have to continue to be mobile in the pocket and not let himself even be in the pocket. He just needs to be constantly moving, constantly being rhythmical. And then, that's another big thing. We're looking at the stats here. Whittaker and Till have less than a takedown each per 15 minutes. Whittaker is 0.36, whereas Till is at 0.66. And both fighters have they have really good takedown defense of an average between the two of them of about 80%. So there's no question that this fight's going to be contested on the feet. Both fighters would much rather take their chances going toe-to-toe with each other. I expect this fight to start off slow with a lot of measuring, a lot of feeling out either in the early portion of the rounds I think it's gonna start off slow. I mean, we might see some action in the later portion of the rounds. We'll see, they'll break, and then the next round will start off slow. I think we're going to continue to see, each round they're going to come and start off slow. Maybe not like once we get into the third and fourth, it might not be as so. But I think the start of each round, we're going to see, it's going to be a lot of feeling out. I don't think Whittaker is going to be in a much better state of mind. He isn't going to let himself get drawn into attacks like he did against Adesanya. So we might see much more of a chess match, which is why I think that, I think it's going to start off slow. I don't think we're going to see an all-out brawl. And, if we do, it won't be until the later parts of the round. I don't think these guys are just going to both come out swinging. That's it's pretty uncharacteristic for both of them. As for Till, his success came against Calvin Gastelum by using his reach advantage and keeping his opponents at bay with that rhythmical, rangy striking. This isn't going to exactly be the type of style that's going to get him a stoppage victory over Robert Whittaker, but he's going to be able to squeak out a points victory, and maybe not squeak out, might be able to get a unanimous decision. But that's all as long as he's able to not take damage on the points of entry. This is the main key to his success here, is staying out of Whittaker's range and being ultra aware of the counterattack at the point of entry. If Till's able to stick and move, as well as incorporating a bit of a counterattack game of his own, he might be able to get what it takes here. But he needs to Till needs to I just forgot what I was about to say. My bad. Let's move on. So here we'll go to the best bets. We'll move forward. So I think while Robert Whittaker has picked up impressive wins by decision, 6 of which by decision, it looks like the real way, the real value in this fight is to back Till on the scorecards. Darren Till, he's gone to decision in 5 of his 9 fights in the UFC. He's never dropped a fight by decision in the UFC. He has 4 decision victories, and then he took a majority draw to Nicholas Dalby in his second UFC fight back in 2015. Between these two fighters, 12 of 23, so 52% of their combined UFC fights have gone the distance. If you consider those numbers, you're backing Till at plus 333 to win by decision. I don't think that that's a bad call. In a fight that's more than likely going to reach the later rounds, I think you're getting a good solid chunk of value. Even if you're not keen on the decision prop, you're still getting bargain on Till money line, plus 103 right now. And I think he's the more durable fighter at this point of each fighter's career. So again, you might be better off splitting your action between Till money line at plus money, and then also the over. Instead of betting him by decision, you can split your action between those two. Till plus 103, and then the over. I see it at plus 110. But I think the best way to bet this fight is to be on Till by decision. But personally, I'll probably I'm going to bet Till. My significant best bet will be on Darren Till money line. I'm just trying to think about what I was about to say before I got to here. Here we go. So the best bets are at the bottom. Yeah, so what I was going to say was Till needs to be able to stick and move and to not take damage at the point of entry, and to, kind of just pop in and get out, pop in and get out. And then that way, eventually over time, that's going to draw Whittaker in. And I think that is going to be the point, if it does happen, that he could finish him. But I don't see Till finishing Whittaker, but I do see him winning. I do see him winning this fight. And I think the value is on him to win outright. And I think the value is on the fight going the distance. And I think the value is on the over. And you can bet all those separately, or like I said, you can bet Till by decision at plus 333. But I really like my card here at the bottom, 3.3%. So a little bit over a unit on Till plus 103. Fight goes the distance, yes, at plus 120. I like that quite a bit. And then 1%, which is about a fourth of a unit for me, at the over 4.5 rounds at plus 110. So yeah, I think Till gets it done here. It's going to be interesting. I'm extremely excited to watch these fights. So yeah, all right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Do us a favor, like the video, subscribe to Spark Sports YouTube channel. Check out on Twitter, Spark Sports Bets. We will have so much betting content soon in the next few days, with baseball and basketball and the NBA and NHL, all that coming back. It's going to be very, very hectic. So yeah, keep watching, support the channel, sign up to the sports books in the description. We got all our affiliation links down there. You can help us out big by signing up to mybookie.ag using the promo code SparkSports100. You will receive a 100% sign-up bonus. And then, or you can skip all that, and our PayPal is paypal.me/SparkSportsBets. We hope you cash your tickets. We hope you win some big money. But hey, if you don't want to bet real money, that's fine. I will say it again. You can bet for free using sportsplays.com, and you can win real money, real prizes. Sign up using Spark Sports affiliate code for free plays. It is in the description. So yeah, get your action in now, guys. Fight night, it's just around the corner. We'll be back later in the week with the division betting trends video. And until then, thank you for watching. Talk to you later. Tell your friends, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, talk to you later. Enjoy the fights.